if you're like me and you're getting so stir crazy being stuck at home and you haven't been able to go in for your spray tan appointment, I have got the perfect thing. So we now are bringing the sun gun to you right in your home. I am custom mixing a mousse that is just for you. So all the other self tanners that you've used before and have just broken your heart because they've turned you colors that you haven't wanted, or you haven't been able to get the perfect fade on your hands, rest assured this is going to be for you because I'm mixing it to your skin tone. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna send me a picture of your face and your arm, and that helps me determine the skin tone so I know what to mix for you. I actually write your name on your bottle because this is mixed just for you. So you don't have to worry even after this whole COVID everything is done. Everybody's schedules are gonna go back to being crazy, and even me sometimes I don't have time to go in and get sprayed all the time. So now I can always have this with me so I don't have to be pale ever again. Okay, so if you're wanting to bring the sun gun to you in your own home and get your custom mousse, it's so simple. All you're gonna do is you're gonna go on either my Instagram or my website. On my Instagram, you just click on the little shopping bag and it'll take you right to my shop. Or even in lots of my pictures, you'll see a little dot. That's called Shopify. You can click right on that picture and you can go and purchase your product. Okay, so what we're gonna start with first is you're going to take some barrier cream or just any kind of really thick lotion, and we're gonna prep our body before our tan. So I do a really good amount, and I don't have any oils or anything else on my skin, and I'm gonna coat my hands. I'm not rubbing it in, I'm just coating, making sure I get my knuckles, your thumb right here. I'm gonna grab some more, and I'm going to get my elbows. Again, not rubbing it in, just kind of slathering it on there. Sometimes I tend to grab onto solution right here a little bit darker, so I'm just gonna put a little bit right there. And then I'm gonna put some on my knees. That skin there is just thicker, and so it tends to grab the solution more. Okay, and I put it over my entire foot, right here on this ankle bone. And again, not rubbing it in. Okay, and now we're ready to get our mitt. Please make sure that you have one that is fully lined so none of the solution seeps through and gets all over your hands. So I'm just gonna take my mitt and my self tanner. Make sure you give it a good little shake. And I'm gonna do about 3 pumps. Just like that. And I'm gonna start on the upper part of my body and just work my way down. And I do circular motions. And I'm going to avoid my elbow and only go to my wrists. And I'm avoiding my hands, avoiding that elbow. We're gonna hit it in just a second. Just rubbing it in. I'm going around the armpit, because your armpits shouldn't be like directly tanned. Now my mitt has just a little bit left of product, so I'm just gonna take that over my elbow really quick and just kind of feather down my wrist a little bit. I'm not taking that much on my hand. And then I'm gonna take whatever's kind of left over and just kind of brush over my armpit to have that feather. And then taking whatever's kind of left over and just blending that in. Now I'm gonna do the other side. 3 pumps again. Starting up at the top, working in a circular motion, avoiding the elbow, stopping at the wrist. Now I'm gonna take whatever is kind of left over and just lightly brush over the elbow, around the armpit, and then just kind of lightly brush to feather that in, and then take whatever is left over and just kind of blend onto the rest of the upper part of my body. Okay, I'm gonna grab a little bit more. Now I'm gonna go onto my stomach, same circular motions. Taking it onto my back. If you have someone at your house, they can help you get this part of your back, or you can use a spatula and just put your mitt right on top of it, and then you're able to reach the back. So you shouldn't feel much solution on your body. It should kind of feel just a little bit damp. Like you just got out of the pool and kind of patted yourself dry. That's what it should feel like. So now, while this, I don't want to go in with my second coat until this feels completely dry. So now I'm going to do the lower half of my body. So now I start up here and just take that and work in circular motions. And I just like to start from the front to the back to make sure I don't miss any spots. And what's nice is you can feel it going on, and it has bronzers in it, so you know exactly where you're applying it. So I'm gonna avoid my knee right now and working down, stopping at that ankle. And then whatever's kind of left over, just like what we did with our elbow, is we're just gonna lightly brush over our knee and kind of feather onto our foot just a little bit. Let's do the other one. And then whatever's left over, just brushing over that. Blending it down. Okay, so now that that is done, your upper body should feel almost completely dry, and now we're gonna go in with the second coat. Okay, so now that we have covered all of our body and it should feel just a little bit tacky and it's gonna be drying, now we're gonna go on to blending out our hands. So what we're gonna do is take our mitt and just do one little pump on it. What I like to do is I kind of like to smush the solution in so it kind of absorbs a little bit more of it. And I'm going to take a makeup brush and just dab, dab, dab in. And now I'm gonna take my hand, and I call this the claw, and we're just going to take our brush. I'm starting up here first. I want most of the product to start up here and then feather down. So I'm just gonna start doing little teeny circular motions. This should not feel like you are applying much of anything. It should feel just a little bit like you washed your makeup brush and left it out to dry, and it's been drying for several hours. It should not feel any wetter than that. And I'm just kind of pulling the product down. Okay, and then just taking, there's hardly any leftover product, but I'm just using this to kind of pull some of the color through my wrist. So let's do the other side, same thing, starting at the top, just circular motions. If you feel like you did get a little bit too much on there, just take your makeup brush and kind of wipe it on the other side of the mitt, and that'll help take some of it off. And then again on my wrist with whatever is left over. Now, this is the key. You're gonna take that same lotion that you put over the top of your hands at the beginning, you're gonna put that all over now. And I'm really gonna get my knuckles. This just is gonna dilute that color and give you the most flawless looking. Same thing on your wrists. Beautiful fade trick right here. Okay, now we're gonna do our feet. Okay, now I'm just gonna start up at the top again, circular motions pulling that color down my foot. Just taking that up at the top and then circular motions and then pulling that color down. Again, it should barely feel like you're applying anything. It shouldn't feel wet and it should be drying immediately after you apply it. If you have other callus on your feet, you're gonna wanna avoid those or just give those extra attention with the lotion as you're applying that on top of your color. Okay, now we're gonna take that lotion again and go right over the top and just blend that in. Now you're just gonna take a baby wipe because we don't want to be getting a wet wash rag because you cannot get your tan wet or sweat until your rinse off time. So I'm just taking a baby wipe and I'm just gonna kind of wipe off the palms of my hand since I've been taking lotion and rubbing in that solution to blend my feet and my hands. And then another trick, you just take this and kind of dab it on your wrists again, and that just helps with that really pretty ombre fade. So now, after you have your tan on, this is the most important part because we don't want to get it wet or sweat. And so we're gonna wear long sleeve shirt and long pants. We don't want any skin on skin while we're sleeping or waiting for our tan to develop.